welcome to another solo leveling arise video. So the new hunter Soohyun just came out, and she is crazy with a question mark because she's probably one of the hardest characters in this game to build for, as well as invest. So I've tested her out before. I recorded a video, but I don't think I'm gonna upload it because of how it was kind of negative, and I don't really want to post that. And I tried her A0, and in my opinion, this character is not very good without any advancement. So at A0, she doesn't really do much, but as soon as you hit A1, her power spikes up a lot. And then after that, A2, 3, and 4, those are not really important to her. And then you hit A5, and then you get another big power spike with her. So this is the build that I have with her. This is the stats I have. I have 14,000 attack with her, 50% hit crit hit rate, 198% crit damage, and then 24% defense pen. I can't talk today, I'm sorry about that. And I have her weapon at A5. It's not level 100 yet, but that's probably in the future. And this is her skill. I only have her skills at level 4. I'm probably gonna max this one. This is the most important one, which is her skill 2, because it's the highest damaging one. So if we have this at max, it's about 2175. And then the most important part about this is this part. Always deals fire damage, elemental damage, as if the target's weakness, regardless of the target's enemy. So this part I'm not sure of, if the target's weakness. All I know is that no matter what enemy you fight, your skill 2 will deal fire damage. I'm not sure yet if this will deal fire type advantage damage, which is 150% bonus. But this is very important, so I actually, let me level that up. I don't know if I want to level up to level 10 yet. Let's just do level 7. That's going to be your most important skills. So her other stuff are basic. It's just basic damage ones. This one is basic damage. Her QTE is basic damage as well. So everything about her kit is just pure damage. Her support for Sung Jin-woo buffs his defense pen by 16%, as well as increased damage equal to 16% of Sung Jin-woo's defense pen. That's not really a lot, because most of the time your Sung Jin-woo's defense pen is probably going to be in the 10% range, especially if you have an AP set. So 16% of that, it's not a lot. I'd still probably use maybe Mainlin is probably better for there, and then Silvermane Baekhyun Ho is probably better for there. So let's just go over her passive quickly before we go over what I think about her building wise. So her passive is that when she uses trick shots or firing swarm, that's your skill 1 and that's your QTE. It grants spotlight effects on her. And then when you use your QTE or your ultimate, it grants the magic firearms. So magic firearms are basically her drones that will just keep firing at the enemy, dealing a low amount of number, but it's a lot of hits, and it's even if it's 5 seconds. So it's pretty solid. So her spotlight effect increase her defense span by 24%, as well as increase her damage increase equal to 24% of her defense span. So with this, my defense span with her is at 48%. So let me see, let me just do some calculation quick. So minus 48%. So what's 24% of that? So I get about 12% damage increase, which is a lot of damage increase, to be fair. If we look at my Alicia, for example, her damage increase is at 14%, and it took me 8,400 points to hit that. So, and I'm just getting that for free with Soohyun. Sadly, my damage increase base is at 0%, but with how hard it is to build her, that's actually fine. She's the hardest character to build, in my opinion, in this game. So magic reaction is the debuff that you get, that the enemy gets from magic firearm, which are her drones, which is increased fire damage taken by 1%, stacking up to 20 times. So just imagine that's 20% increased fire damage taken. Her skill 2 will always deal fire damage, so that will always be active no matter what you're fighting. So that's amazing. So her A1 which is her bread and butter, what turns her into a powerhouse, is that when kill shot hits, which is the skill 2, it activates the user's core attack, increases the core attack damage by 30%. Don't get tricked by that. She's not a core attack user like Alicia. So if you're gonna use her as your main DPS, use Blades or Egress. Don't use Tusk. So when she uses her core attack, it grants the Madness effect. The Madness effect resets the cooldown of her kill shot and changes it to Hellfire, as well as increasing her damage by 30%. And then when you use your Hellfire, you activate your drones, and then this gets removed. Duration of 6 seconds. It has a cooldown of 16 seconds, so you're going to want to use this every time you QTE in. And that's her bread and butter, because Killshot is her best skill. So turning Killshot into Hellfire just does so much damage, especially for bosses. So if you're going to pull for her, you need A1. You can't, if you get her for A0, she's not worth it. She's not even a good support at A0. So you need A1 minimum to make her useful. So her A2, increased defense span by 10%. So with Spotlight, my defense... oh, sorry about that. So with Spotlight, my total defense is in the 58% range. That's a lot of defense. So let's just do that. So 58 times 24%. So now I'm at 14% damage increase with A2. So pretty good buff actually, because you get... that plays in multiple of your stats. So your A3 is when Trick Shot hits, which is your skill 1. It grants an attack increase, which is 24%. That's not really that important, but it's good to have just for extra damage. And then her A4 increases her attack by an additional 12%. So you get 36% extra attack with your advancement. So these three are not really that important. Her A1 is the most important one in my opinion. And then if you can get her A5, this is when she turns into a Death Squad. So increase the damage of Kill Shot and Hellfire by 4% for each instance of magic reaction from the target, up to 80%. So magic reaction is this one, which is what you deal to the enemy when you hit them with your drones. So the reason why I said she's the hardest character to build is because she needs 5 stats to make her good. Most characters, like let's look at Alicia. Alicia only needs attack, crit hit rate, and crit damage. So she only needs 3. And then if you look at, say, Soju, all she needs is the same thing with crits. And then if we look at some other characters, like let's look at Choi. Choi only needs attack and defense span and maybe damage increase. So most character in the game only needs 2, I want to say 2 to 4 main stats to work. Soohyun needs at least 5. So first thing, you need attack percent or additional attack. Very important. If you don't get those as a main stat, you can't use them. After that, she needs crit hit rate. So that's, I want to say that's 3 stats right now. Crit hit rate. After the crit hit rate, you need crit damage. So that's 4 stats. But the most important stats for her is her defense span. So you need the 2 crit hit stats. You need defense span. You need attack percent or additional attack. That turns it to 5. Or if you're counting just the attack as 1, you might want damage increase. She needs so many stats for her to be good that if you don't have the artifacts for that, her full potential might not come out. Like if you look at my stats right now, attack percent, additional attack, and I got a +1 in defense span. This one I got +2 in crit hit rate, but I have additional attack here even though if I didn't get anything. And then my gloves has double attack as well as a high crit hit rate. So those 2 alone puts me at cap. And then from you can see here, these 2 doesn't have defense span. But that's okay because my crit damage one over here has a +3 defense span. If this doesn't have a +3 defense span, I don't think it's going to be worth it to use because crit damage is going to be very good, but then this is going to lower my defense span by a lot. So if we look at over here, crit damage, defense span, I got those 2 as well as an additional attack. These are very hard artifacts to get. And that's the worst part about her, sadly. Like look at this one too. Defense span, crit damage. I got very good rolls for that, but this is a legendary piece. This one, this is one of my best set, but it's a heroic. If this was legendary, this would be amazing. additional attack main stat, defense span, double attack, and crit damage. If all of these went to HP percent, this piece will be useless. As well as in here too, this is a defense span, attack, and crit damage. If this went to defense span or crit damage, it would be insane. So that's how you build her. You need so much stats for her, because if your defense span is low, you're gonna lose a lot on damage increase. If your crit damage is low, you're not gonna do any damage. And then her attack needs to be at least 14,000. 14,000 is in low end. Technically, if you can get that to around maybe 16, that would be better. But if you get her to 16, that means you're sacrificing crit damage, which is, I guess, is okay. Not crit damage. You're gonna be sacrificing most of your stats. So she's very hard to build, but it's very rewarding. So let's do some fights with her. This is a reverse mode chapter 12. I just want to test this out, so just to see how well she does against mobs. So let's just try our best. So here we go. So when you QTE, it activates your drone. So look at all those passive damage. And then that's your kill shot. She's more of a boss killer, but she is doing a lot. She's killing these mobs. And she doesn't really have to aim. I think I canceled my Hellfire. Yeah, I canceled my Hellfire, so. Let's see if we can get Madness, but. Let's QT. Let's bring her back in with her QTE. Because her QTE is actually doing a decent amount of damage for mobs. And I don't really have to do anything. And that's the last one. So yeah, her mob clear, it's not as good as Emma. But I think it's usable. But that's her at A5. Maybe, I guess A1 she would be very useful for mob clear, so. But it's not as good as Emma, but she does a pretty solid job. So let's move on to a boss and let's see how she does against that. Here we are against good old bear friend. And let's just test out how much damage that she'll do against this. Again, this is not a good test just to see how good a unit is. But this test is good to see how well they do as a DPS. So those little drones got him down to under, yeah, that did about 10%, I guess. So kill shot, so see, you can look from there. Kill shot was doing fire damage, which is crazy. So that turns kill shot into Hellfire. And this is Hellfire. So Hellfire will one-shot the bear from 50%. She does a lot of damage. And from I think I saw there, kill shot didn't even crit. And it did that much damage, so. Let's just clear this as fast as possible. I think the time that I got with Alicia is around 27 seconds. Let's see if we can actually break that. So we're just gonna quick QTE here so we can get our drone stacks. Make sure that hits. We can trick shot so we can get that. That trick shot did so much damage. Okay. Oh my lord, that did 6 million damage. That's insane. Okay. It's not even about the clear anymore. That just did so much damage. That did 6-7 million damage. I was not expecting that. 28 seconds, and that was that run was awful. She's crazy. I think she does more damage than Alicia. But yeah, that's Soohyun. Probably one of the top DPS in the game. I don't know if she's better than Alicia yet, but she is crazy. I'll see you on the next video.